Hello from the Gnostic Association Samael Lakhsmi. Today we are very happy in order to present to you a new video about philosophy, the Gnostic philosophy.
So, what is the Gnostic philosophy?
So, the Gnostic philosophy seeks to reach wisdom. In Greek, the word is Sophia. It approaches Gnosis, which means higher knowledge, through reflection and contemplation. A philosopher is a person who loves wisdom, a lover of wisdom, a friend of wisdom. Here in Greece, we are privileged to feel the vibration of the ancient great philosophers that gave all this light to the worldwide culture. Philosophy always goes together with psychology, and we can say that psychology teaches us how to relate properly with ourselves. But philosophy teaches us how to relate properly with the environment, with life itself.
So, can you tell us also something about the common life or mechanical life and where it lives?
So, the common life is like an horizontal line. All humans, we walk on this line, the horizontal line. This line belongs to time. It goes towards the future, from birth to death. On this line, we meet all the external events of life, and our personality develops on this line, according to the experience and the stimuli we receive from life. So, the end of this line is the inevitable death. This means that when we walk this horizontal line, we live a mechanical life, fulfilling just our duties towards nature and society. But we do not do anything about our soul, our real self, our inner being, as the Masters say. And this life is not enough to lead us to completion. So, many myths from the ancient wisdom, ancient Greece, like the allegory of the cave, have taught us this reality concerning the human perception. Plato claimed that knowledge gained through the senses is no more than subjective opinion, and that in order to have real objective knowledge, we must gain it through philosophical reflection.
So, from the other, we have the inner path, the philosophy, and what is the benefits of this path, of the philosophy, if you can tell us.
So, Kostas, our destiny is the inner path. The inner path, today, as we say of the philosopher. Okay. The path in order to reach the truth. Because the philosopher has a longing to reach the truth. Okay. So, the man, says the Master, has in him some higher possibilities, so that he can become more than a machine that serves the needs of the society and the lower nature. But these do not unfold on their own. They can only be developed through conscious effort and inner psychological work. For man, there can be no automatic evolution, since if he does nothing to develop them, he slowly loses them. Because many people assume wrongly today that the great ancient philosophers were inactive and lazy people. No, absolutely no. Because it is exactly the opposite. All these ancient philosophers, these masters, were people like heroes. They were wisdom warriors who fought in order to conquer their soul and had tremendous willpower to find the truth. So, to reach the truth, we must have a constant purpose. That is, not to forget our goal in the various events of life. A philosopher is one who sees life as a school, and all the situations as opportunities in order to learn. So, the Gnostic philosopher today has a suitable disposition to face all the difficulties of life. In this way, he is neither identified with the pleasant and not with the unpleasant events of life. So, we the Gnostics love the philosophy of the ancient masters.
So, who is the way for someone to activate his conscience, and how is related with the philosophy of here and now?
Yes, Kostas. The Gnostics love the philosophy of the moment, which is to live from moment to moment. So, says the masters, when we are placed in the now, we can manage with consciousness everything that happens outside and everything also that happens inside. Okay. So, the philosophy of here and now, as you asked, Kostas, is in order to awaken our consciousness. And we must not identify with anything. Identifications with life always leads to charm and sleep of the consciousness. In order to wake up, we must learn to live and to learn from everything, but in the here and now, from moment to moment. The past has already passed, and the future has not yet come. The present is what is true, only. So, the moment. All the outer events and our psychological states cross each other at the point of their intersection. This point is now. This very moment that we live now. That we have to learn to live here and now. Because life is only an eternal moment. So from the center of ourselves, only we can consciously manage the internal states and also the external situations with wisdom. If someone identifies with life, says the masters, then this means that he is not learning anymore, since life is symbolical and we have to use our imagination in order to acquire wisdom and not to take things literally. This is how we must view life.
What is the correlation about external events of life and the internal psychological states?
So we study in the lessons of the first chamber, in the lessons 8 and 9, exactly, that the exterior is the reflection of the interior. So our level of being attracts the external events. When we change ourselves, then our life changes. This is the truth. And in order to change our level of being, we must first change ourselves, who we are. The key to success in life is to properly combine external events with internal states. People, when they remember their lives, think that life consists only of external events. But no. In reality, every event is accompanied by an internal state. This internal state can be right, in harmony with the external event, or wrong. As good as an external event may be, if we are not in the proper internal state, it will not benefit us at all. So every external event must be consciously combined with the appropriate internal state. Even unpleasant or dangerous external events become harmless or even useful when combined with the proper internal state. We need to eliminate the wrong internal state from within us.
So to free the conscience, we need to work with psychological death of the ego. What is the procedure to do this, to free the conscience?
Yes. This is the psychological death of the ego that we study in the lessons of the first chamber, that we are awaiting for you in order to study them together. So, this is done by eliminating our psychological defects, the egos, as the Master Samael says. Living with others is an invaluable psychological gem for the philosopher. By coexisting with others, our defects come to the surface, and this allows us to see and eliminate them. For this reason, the path of wisdom, the path of the philosopher, cannot be done in isolation, but in coexistence with others. Every time something bothers us in another person, it is a mirror that shows us that without knowing it, we ourselves has this defect. The best way is to learn from the others, to learn to see their point of view, and to wonder about things and our perception. This is also part of the Gnostic philosophy. So it is necessary for every person who wants to have a rich inner life to think, to reflect, to contemplate upon the circumstances of life. So the path of Gnostic philosophy, as you asked, can awaken and liberate the consciousness. And the awakened consciousness perceives the truth directly, without thought and intellectual reasoning. With the consciousness awakened, we can know all that is transcendent: God, the higher worlds, reincarnation, the meaning of life, and all these marvelous wonders of life. The path of the Gnostic philosophy elevates us morally and spiritually, transforming us into real people, as Diogenes, the ancient philosopher, said in the roads of ancient Greece. This we study in the lesson 3, the awakening of the consciousness, and in the books of our masters, the Master Michael, the awakening of the consciousness, and the Master Samael, the famous book, Fundamental Education. So, we give you just a practice for you that you have to do all of your life. This is contemplation. We can contemplate at any time, when we read the bus, when we drive, when we do a job that does not require our attention. So we have the mood or the opportunity to do so. So we can reflect all of our life, things we observed in ourselves through self-observation, events we experienced, and maybe a teaching that we read or listen to, and the events of life. All this we will study together in the lessons of the first chamber. We are waiting for you to send us. Thank you so much. Πάση ημερησία.